Hey guys, welcome back to Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark, and thank you once again for checking out another video. And the reason why I thank you for this video is that we are like in the dog days of summer. It's my winter. I live in Australia, so I'm the Australia counterpart to my co-host, Britsburgh, Owen, who lives in the UK. Right now in Australia, it is freezing. It is really cold. It is 11 degrees Celsius, which is your 35, 40. But I'm not here to talk about the weather. I'm here to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're getting to the point now, guys. We are about 20 days away from training camp, and it is crazy. 20 days away from training camp, and I'm scouring the internet for news, for breaking news. We had the big news a few days ago about Acrisure Stadium, and we had that idea of like Heinz Field is now over, 21 years, done. So we're moving on from that, right? We are moving on from that. That's the past. I'll still call it Heinz, but we're moving on from that. The thing is now, though, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are transitioning into a new era. We have Omar Khan, we have the new stadium, we have no Big Ben, we have Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett at quarterback, right? And we have, hopefully, in this new era, we have a top 5 defense along with Cameron Hayward, Minkah, and TJ Watt. And in today's video, guys, I want to talk about some rankings. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. I was looking through the internet, like what kind of news can I talk about? What can I talk about with the Steelers? And I always tend to lean towards defense. I love the defense. The defense is so fun to talk about. Watching when I was younger, Troy, James Harrison, James Farrier, Lamar Woodley, those dudes, Brett Kiesel, Hampton, Big Snack, those dudes tackling and just Ryan Clark, smash mouth, Ike Taylor, smash mouth football. Love it, right? So today we're going to focus on 2 positions, and I read through some articles, and I'll show some pictures in a minute, but we're going to focus on rankings, and that is 2 rankings that I'm quite okay with. I'm so happy that we have number 1 and number 2 in these respective roles. So first of all, we're going to start with TJ Watt. I talked about TJ Watt the other day, how he's getting married to his fiance, now partner, Danny Watt. But Jeremy Fowler ranked all top 10 for the outside linebackers at this position, right? And TJ Watt was ranked number 1. If I go down the list, TJ Watt was number 1. Number 2, who's next? I think it was our good friend Myles Garrett was number 2 on this list. Then after that was Nick Bosa from the San Fran 49ers. Number 4, Joey Bosa. His brother from LA. Max Crosby for Las Vegas Raiders was 5. Von Miller, Buffalo Bills was 6. Chandler Jones 7. Brian Burns and Khalil Mack, number 9. He dropped quite far, right? And number 10 was Cameron Jordan, so outside linebackers. Now, the reason why this is kind of crazy, right? We're in the moment now. It's ranking season. Like these players, we're ranking what they have done when they're going into the season. But I do agree with this ranking. I really do. TJ Watt, Pittsburgh Steelers, rank 1, right? Age 27 and last year's ranking number 2. So he is probably the best defensive player in the whole league. He won it last year, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm so glad he finally got that. And it says here, Watt claims his first ever number 1 ranking here after jumping number 7 in 2020 to number 2. 22.5 sacks to tie. He tied Michael Strahan's season record. And that definitely makes him the case. And it says here, Watt was a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, 100%, right? But as Steelers fans, we all know that TJ Watt is amazing. We all know that TJ Watt is going to have a crazy year this year in this defense. You think about Brian Flores coming over from the defense. You think about Miles Jack adding to the defense. Highsmith on the other side. Hopefully Devin Bush can be back at it. This guy, TJ Watt, can have another breakout year. It's a long season, but it's a great season. 17 games. TJ Watt can go out there and win. So I'm keen to see what he can do. And I will link these articles to the description if you want to check out Jeremy Fowler's work where he breaks down top 10 on the outside linebackers. And then what I'm moving in now into, which I'm also happy as well, is top 10 where this player was ranked also. So we have Minkah Fitzpatrick was ranked number 2 safety. Now, some may say he could be the number 1 safety, but overall, I'm still happy that the NFL is giving finally some recognition to rank Minkah number 2. Now, number 1 via Jeremy Fowler's rankings, and I will link the article in the description, is number 1 is Justin Simmons for Denver Broncos. Now, he's a pretty good player, and I rate that. Like, number 1, Justin Simmons and Minkah, they are both incredible players, incredibly talented. They could be either 1 or 2. Now, it says here, Fitzpatrick is NFL's highest paid safety. Like, we know that Omar Khan went out and paid him the big bucks, right? And over the 4 seasons, Fitzpatrick has 37 pass deflections, 13 interceptions, 350 tackles, and 2 first All-Pro nods. There's a quote here. It says here, above the net game, he can play strong safety, free safety, has range. And NFL executive said. So we don't know who that was, but it's one of them. Started for Miami as an outside corner as a rookie. And how many safeties can handle that? So, do you guys agree with this? Like, this is to me is super easy. I'm not saying anything controversial. I'm just actually stating the fact that these players are. But it's also a good reminder. It's a very good reminder of what we're going into this season, into the training camp. And as we start to get excited about our Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick being number 2, I'm happy with that. I'm so happy with that. It means he wants to go out there and be number 1, but he is being paid as a number 1, safety in this league, with the highest paid safety, right? But TJ Watt being number 1 player, maybe defensive player in the league at the moment, is going absolutely bonkers out there and doing what he needs to do. And having Minkah in the backfield is even better. So these 2 guys, and we are in the ranking season, right? So I will link both those articles in the description. We're in the ranking season. Is this where you guys, would you rank TJ Watt number 1? I think so. I think you would rank him there, right? Would you rank Minkah Fitzpatrick at number 2? Yeah, I would say so as well. If you go and look at Minkah's game, yes, he didn't have the interceptions last year. I think he had 1 or 2. There was one against the Browns that was near the Bengals near the end of the game that didn't make any difference. But he had over 100 tackles last year. The defensive line was terrible, absolutely terrible. So if Minkah can get back at it, Terrell Edmonds can also help him out too. They're a good pairing. They're a good duo, right? They can work together. I just find this defense can be top 5. On paper, it looks great. If you're out there playing Madden, you're using Minkah, you're pushing Terrell into the box, you're running around crazy with Miles Jack and setting up the play and getting Devin Bush back involved, maybe into that. Maybe he can play buck. Maybe he can play a bit of coverage. I hope that Devin Bush can just be more healthy, right? You go to the defensive line, Alualu's back at the front. You have Cameron Hayward, who's so pissed off. He's so pissed off that I think he was ranked 5 in these rankings, right? He's so pissed off and he wants to go out there and play. Now, the question mark could also be maybe the corners. Maybe the corners aren't up to scratch, but I don't mind it. I don't mind what Ahkello Witherspoon did last year, and I don't mind what we're bringing with Levi Wallace. I think he's a tremendous player too. Watching some of his highlights and his workmanship at Buffalo, and I like what Buffalo does. Buffalo are a turnover team. Throughout the years, even when they were bad, they always seem to turn over the football. Bringing in Levi Wallace, he's super fun to watch. He's going to make an impact on this defense. And then we have the sneaky Trey Norwood too. Trey Norwood can sneak around and get involved in the defense and make plays when he needs to make plays. And lastly, if you even want to include too, in the cornerback room, Cameron Sutton and Arthur Millette could provide some key depth there as well and veteran leadership. So I like this defense, and I like how that TJ Watt is number 1 for a reason, because he won Defensive Player last year. And there's a big chance that maybe this year he can go out and break Michael Strahan's record and get those 23, 22 sacks or whatever it needs to be. And there's a big chance as well that TJ Watt's going to be the leading sack, Steelers leader for the franchise if he gets 9 sacks this year. And knock on wood, I think he's going to do it, right? I believe that. So if we are in ranking season, I love that. This is probably the best I've seen the NFL rank the Steelers right now. Everyone's counting the Steelers out. No one cares. They all say we have troubles on offense. They say we have good defensive players. We haven't got a good defense. It doesn't make sense, right? They're saying, well, can Najee run behind the O-line? We'll soon find out. But these 2 articles that I referenced here, TJ Watt being number 1, Minkah being number 2, I love it. I think that's exactly where they need to be, and it's the confidence they need to be in the season. The big thing for me this year in the defense, which I want to see from the preseason, is some of the backup guys, the depth guys like Buddy Johnson, Spillane, those guys get into it, and some of the other defensive line guys, Leal, start to work into the team. Come week 1 of the season, I want to see them hold points under 21, 23, 24 points, right? To give the offense a chance And then for also, try and be more aggressive on defense and stop the run. But with the star caliber players like TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cameron Hayward, this is a good sign for our defense to go out there and do something. And right now, to be optimistic, I can see them being top 5 or definitely top 10, but optimistic to be top 5. And I'm thankful finally that some of the ESPN writers and NFL writers are giving the Steelers a chance. TJ Watt's number 1, Minkah's number 2. Let's hope for big things, eh? Let's hope for big things. Thanks, guys, for checking out Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'll see you later.